We are here on Real Estate in the Lowcountry. With me now is Benji Gecy. He is, of course, our mortgage broker guru who knows everything about the rates.
How are you today? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Benji. So we're going to jump in. We always talk about the rates first.
Got to talk about the rates. Everybody's waiting for the rates to move, but as you can see from the Freddie Mac chart, 6.7%, kind of sliding sideways a little bit. We had some nice rates in January. Rates bumped up. We continue to get some inflation numbers that, the market's really trying to rally. The bad inflation number comes out and the rates go up and the market comes back down again. So rates are really trying to go lower, and I still am sticking to my forecast, 5% by the end of the year. Okay. A lot of people are disagreeing with that, even Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I think we're going to have great rates by the end of the year, and I think they're going to be around 5%. But right now, about 6.7%, not bad. We have some really good rates with the jumbo right now, which is considerably lower than that, which is unusual. That's why I think rates are going lower. So we're about 6% to 6.25% on the jumbo. Usually when you start seeing those, non-insured loans coming down, they think that rates are going lower. I think rates are going lower as well. So over 760,000 jumbo loan, you can get a lower rate than the 30-year conventional right now. So, and it's about 0.5% lower. So good news for those who have $1 million plus or $700,000 plus with our rates there. So
okay, very
looking
interesting.
Pretty good. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. Yeah, when you were right last year. So we'll keep that.
We'll see what's happening.
I'm
hoping I'm right for lots of homeowners. A lot of people are wanting the rates go lower,
of course.
And it's a difference in buying a home right now. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, everybody is keeping their fingers crossed along with you.
Right.
So we had a big decision come out of the National Association of Realtors. Let's talk a little bit about how that's going to affect buying and selling.
Well, it's definitely going to affect the way people buy a home or homeowners buy a home. It's already affected the way sellers are selling their property. They're in a real good situation right now. So buying a home come July is going to be different. And I think how it affects the mortgage side of things is I think the experienced mortgage broker is actually going to pick up what their business is going to play a more important role than ever. Okay. But, from the buyer standpoint, big changes coming. We deal with lots of veterans, lots of FHA homeowners, limited down payment. Those homeowners are going to have difficulty paying a real estate commission on top of their down payment and other closing costs. So real changes there. It's going to be very frustrating for, I think, some of the realtors. We went through this back in 08 and 09 when the Frank Dodd had all of their changes in the big crash. So it's been almost 20 years for us to rebound. We did about 70% of the transactions as a mortgage broker back then. And, the new rules changed everything, flushed out a lot of mortgage brokers. And now we're just back up to about 30% of the market share. So I think there's going to be a shakeup here with the way, especially people buy and sell homes. And realtors are going to have to get ahead of this thing if they want to survive. And it's definitely going to make it a little more fair for sellers and buyers, but it's going to be highly competitive from here. So you definitely want to get ahead of it and see what happens. And that's something we had to do back in 08 and 09. Things have gotten a little better now, and things have settled down pretty good. But major decision, though, so we'll see what happens.
It was a major decision. And so you mentioned, though, that because of those decisions that mortgage brokers really are going to have an edge, and that is because you can shop your rate better, you have more...
the experienced loan officer. Okay. So what's going to happen is some of these transactions may not have real estate agents. I don't recommend that. I think buyers should have representation, but buyers are going to migrate to the experienced loan officer to where we're not going to represent them in a transaction, but our wisdom and knowledge of the total transaction, we help in designing the closing costs, trying to find the right loan programs. Those are going to be more critical than ever, especially if a realtor is not involved in the transaction. So there's a lot of support that the realtor brings to the game. The mortgage broker and experienced loan officer is going to have to elevate their game a little bit and help the buyer in some ways that are going to help them get to the finish line a little better. So I think our business is probably going to pick up, and the buyers are definitely going to find those experienced loan officers.
And you mentioned that some buyers may not even choose to use a realtor. Do you think you're going to see that on the seller side as well?
No, I think sellers will, I think that's going to get more competitive. I think your standard 3 or 4% listing price, I think those buyers agents that represent buyers, they may go to the listing side, and I think you're going to see the seller's in a great position right now. So if you're selling a home right now, they're looking pretty good, but I think you're going to see a little more competition on the seller side as well. So that 3% may be coming down. We'll see what happens there. And that's what happened to us in the mortgage business as well. Those fees just came down.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens come July. Thank you for being here, Benji. It's always great information.
Thanks again. Great report.
Absolutely.